All right, we're just going to do a couple of things in this video. Those fellas and fellettes, capacitors, back at it again. So I did two other videos. I did, out of my station, I've got 3 of these. I used to have 4, but I sold one like an idiot. So I got one on my left, which is like where I put OBS and a lot of other things. I got a different monitor, a much bigger one, 32-inch in the middle. And I got one on the right, and then this one of these is usually my confidence monitor, so I don't have a confidence monitor right now because the way the cabling is. I do have another nice HP monitor back there, and I think I have some more in the basement that probably need capacitors. So we're going to put some regular electrolytics in, but I think these are Panasonic. So the original ones are, so these were Elite, 470 microfarad 35 volt, which is what I got here as well. I put in much bigger capacitors because we had the room. The monitor on the far left only got 1 cap. The monitor on the right on my desk got 2, and we don't know what we're going to find in here. So we're going to put, I ordered actual caps. Now, the Elites were fine, right? They're rated like 105C. The black ones, these here are something like 20%. I think they're a tighter tolerance, a slightly different design. They were very close, but I think just a little bit better. There's nothing really wrong with the Elites, like I said. They're fine. These things were made, I believe the spread is like 2010, 2011, 2012. We'll find out what this one is in a minute when we flip it upside down. The previous videos, one video is on my Arches Garage channel. The latest one is on this channel, T&A. And in the T&A, the last video that I did was a lot of focus, was a longer video because a lot of focus was on how to remove the bezel and how to put it together and exactly what I was doing. We're not going to spend that much time on this video, right? Let's dig in. I just want to give you a little bit, cut in and out. I'll bring you in when I think. We'll take a peek, and I'll give you some tips and tricks or whatever. It's just to hang out and to fix some cool stuff and not let it go to waste. I really don't need anything better than this. I would like maybe a 4K for my center down the road or something better as an actual video monitor, right? So I can, start to calibrate. As time goes on with my channel, I'm going to want better speakers, reference style. We're going to get into that in the future. But for now, I got to get back on the road again. See you in a minute. All right, it's been sitting for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I don't know, whenever I did the last one, put the video out, probably a while. And this broke, I guess, a couple of weeks after I finished the other one, put the video out. So this has been sitting unpowered, not connected. Let's just, one last test just to see. Not that it's going to change my mind from going in here, but just to see. Here it'll wipe down, so there's no, see look, it's trying to come on. So it gave me the Asus, and then it didn't want to do anything else. Now I have a yellow light down here, and that means she's going to try to do something. And that should go off, so it did not want to come on at all, and I tried a different plug. So, and now, hold on, come back, we'll cycle it a few times. I want to go in there and just look to see. Because if we're starting to see a bulging cap, it'll do it again. It could just have been some other anomaly. I've had other anomalies. I've had power outages here. I've had resets of my UPSs. All right, let's take a look. Well, this one's more like the first one I did. So, this goes to the monitor. And the other cable too, wherever it is. Let me do with it. It's on the monitor. It plugs in down here. And then this guy plugs here and then down in here too. But you can take it off from here. So this one's easier. So you could, if you want to take this whole thing off, you could take this off too and take it completely off. Now, I don't know why, but the other two, this was mounted to the plastic. This just popped right off. So I could tell I was in here before because I could see the way there was some marks on the edge here from trying to pry it open. So I had done this cap, which is a little bit different. That's actually something of a bigger cap. But here it is. Probably should recap the whole thing. It's this guy. I could smell it too. So I'm going to replace these two just to start off with. And we'll leave this one in place. It seems fine. But I'll get a closer look at it. But it should be okay. So yeah, that one and that one.
1 hour later.
I'm just inspecting around. Well, I could smell it. Let me get a little wet rag and wipe out some of that damp rag. But we're in. And this is the driver board. Did I say that? Perhaps. I could smell it. That one, definitely burned. And it would be putting stresses on everything else. So, yeah, all right. Like I said, this one was easier to take apart. The other one, the last one I did, was really hard. All right, I'm going to wipe it down. We'll start putting it together. I want to see if I can screw in where the VESA mount is. We might be able to put some screws in that to hold this in place, because it's really just the bezel that holds it on. I guess that's enough. I don't know. What I found from doing it, this is a big heavy chalk, like a real chalk, big rubber. You need something to kind of hold it up in case you got to scratch your nose or something like that. You don't panic. I do it upright. The main connector for the monitor, I aim down because it's easier to stick your hand in between and get to that. There's very little room at this point. Now I just got to get this guy in here. Oh, see how it wants to tilt? Because there's no room for my hand. But I'm not sure which way to go, so we experiment. That's it. Click. Now, kind of holding the sandwich together. And of course, you have to very carefully move it. Do it on a carpet or a rug, but the thing is, you want to be up high enough. Because if you're on a rug, you're going to be tilting your head down a lot, kissing the floor. But look, whatever, they're all basically the same. There's some slight differences. All right, now I got to just line up everything, and then I can kind of screw it in, screw the top monitor, actual monitor display into the frame. We got to make sure it fits in there. So it takes a little bit to do. What I do want to see is, are we going to get anything? Blue light, Asus. I'll show you again in a bit. But yeah, we're getting it. Display port, no signal, which I'll have to change because we're going to be on a DVI or an HDMI conversion. All right, spray white here. This stuff is great. In fact, I want to open up my big monitor because I screwed it up. I used like a regular glass cleaner. I also want to get some real pure alcohol. You can also get, I think it's like CVS or whatever has like 98% rubbing alcohol. It's like a couple percent water. Most of them are like 75 or whatever. All right, this stuff is really good. This is ammonia free. Although ammonia is a good thing too for a lot of stuff. Clean out, get a blue towel if I have any left. And then we're going to use a mineral spirits and super clean because I did this on the other one. I had gotten overspray. I'm in a shop. I got some paint overspray. It's in the air. Kind of messed it up on the plastic. And on this guy here, I tried to rub it out with a wheel, polishing wheel, and it kind of screwed it up. But we may be able to get it a little cleaner. The other part too is kind of nasty. So I'm going to work on that. I'll bring you back for that just real quick. All right, my hands are pretty clean, but they're not 100%. So I'm going to just hit this, and then I'm going to work with, I'll put some gloves on. I already put the stand part in the sink over there with some super clean. Let that soak, so I'm going to go get my gloves on. This crap stuck to this. So this could be the first. I have not tried, yeah, it's kind of nasty. I have not tried mineral spirits on the screen itself. The screen they're not that bad. Like there's some scratches on a few of them, but they're not that bad. They did not get the overspray. It kind of covered the monitors, but any area that wasn't covered, it got that overspray. Yeah, that's clean. All right, now this is a wet blue towel, just in some soapy water. And this is a mix of super clean. So this is caustic. This is like oven cleaner. It's a base, sodium hydroxide, sodium metacillate. So this is like a strong base. So when you mix it with water, 50-50, it's not that strong. So liquid plumber is similar. And I'm just gonna work it because this is the mildest thing you can use. You could try, you know, alcohol, whatever, but that could screw it up. Yeah, this is like a brown spray 9, fantastic. They all have very similar properties in them. Green clean. I like the green clean working on the house, and I give it time to soak in a little. And I keep checking my rag to see what I got. I'll wet it down. Like the other things are sitting in the sink. I gotta go get that, so I'll be back. I'm gonna wipe those too, right over here. Here, let's go get it. Just move this to the side for a minute. So this one here has got a lot of spray on it. It almost looks like it's so dull because it was a white paint that day and it just speckled on. So it's gonna come off. Yeah, she's coming off already. So I think what I'll do is, yeah, look at that. So maybe I'll bring you over here. Hold on. I'll show you. We'll get that clean and the mineral spirits will finish it up. So I kind of covered this in the other video. And so one of the reasons why I'm trying to cover it a little bit here is because I'm trying to restore or maintenance or keep nice some of the older machines and things that I work on all the time. And try to bring it back to somewhat new. Well, let me turn the air compressor off. At least refurbish them, not necessarily a restoration on everything. And that's true with electronics. Like I just went over, I got it on my computer case. And I spent, the other day I was in there, I changed out the video card and put a slightly newer one in that I got from a buddy of mine. Shout out to Matt, Visceral Fusion. And the case was really filthy on the outside. You know, inside I'd been trying to clean it over the years, but the outside had gotten something very similar. Did the same procedure, and then I finished up with the mineral spirits, and it has this nice sheen to it. It just looks good, looks so much better than it did. It was getting haggard. It's an old Antec 1200, not a modern case, but it was a high-end case back in the day. You know, listen, all of this electronic stuff, because of what's going on with these data centers and everything, we're running out of, you know, us consumers, especially in computers, we're running out of the stuff that we want, that we need. And yeah, you can get it, but you're going to pay through the nose. So a lot of us have been looking to refurbishing older computers. For my video editor, right? You know, I want to use something decent. Yeah, that's really nasty back there. But I can't afford something brand new. So there's a couple of videos on my channel about my video editor. And when it comes to the plastic and the other materials, my thought is, you know, we want to see, I want to see what can I use to kind of bring back, that's nasty, finish. Yeah, I screwed this up by trying to run a wheel over it. That was a mistake. So I made the mistake. Don't, you know, I'm suggesting to you, don't make it, because I made it. And I'm putting it mostly on the rag. But yeah, this is nasty. And you can hear it in my last video, you could really hear it. Yeah. It was worse. That's just nasty. You know what I mean? You need something. I set up the other shop to do more of the grinding and the welding, but it takes a toll. Sorry, fellas. I have the fans on and stuff. It's still kind of hot. It's not terrible. This is where the switches are, and they have to fit kind of into a socket. Yeah, that's it. So when I reassemble, I like to start off in these areas. It's kind of weak, but I like to make sure everything is copacetic. And then I go outward, and from there, but I don't start removing it from this side. I come up a bit or find another corner because it is weak. Yep. What do we got over there? Yeah, good. Yep. Yeah, this one's in pretty good shape. All right, now, we got a little bit left here. I'm gonna do the parts individually. Yeah, so we're pretty good. I'm just working with the reg. Getting the reg to the damp point, where it's just damp, and then getting a good amount of mineral spirits on. And I'm just gonna very carefully, I don't want to really get on the screen. I have not tested that yet. And I'm just going to keep rubbing. And I'll be looking, but it's pretty clean now, so I don't think we're going to pick up much. But keep in mind, plastics and things like this, what goes wrong with them, mostly, paint, older paint, plastic, powder coat, which is a polyester, which is a plastic. It's oxidation, mostly. Mineral spirits here is a little bit down there. It's pretty gentle. Of course, if you guys have another way, let me know. See, I did get a little bit on the monitor there, but it appears to be drying. Oh, yeah. This one's just more smudged than the others. So let's see, what's the date? September 2012. It really needs an entire recap. But not all those caps are under the same stresses. It's the ones that do most of the work day to day. These things have been on almost 24/7. Since 2012, with all the gaming and running servers, and then eventually the video editing and working on my footage for the channel, which has been quite a number of years. Okay, I think we're done. And I'll just pick it up with this for a final wipe. But it's all done. It's as clean as it's ever going to be, considering its age. 2012. There we go. What do we got? Yep, Asus. Okay, we'll clean off, and we'll give it an actual official test. We'll look to see how it's doing. That's why I can set it up, and I may do a live show tonight. We'll see. All right, so that's us. Looking at us, right? And now this is actually the monitor as well. So if I take this lady that I'm listening to and sort of minimize her, put her over here, right? And there's some kind of Facebook video, or I don't know, I was watching something. This is just some chick, whatever. And that's what we got. And we'll come back. I gotta move her back to my main monitor. So yeah, you can almost see everything over here. This is the OBS. Here, my main monitor, and another. These are the three, except for the middle one. It's the three of the trio. And like I said, I had another one that was mounted up higher when everything was over there. I think this is the first one that I did in 2023. That makes sense. But for a couple of bucks, and shipping, it really is cheap. You can get these. You can get the originals for like 20 of them for a few dollars, and they're very good. Especially if you think, well, I'm getting older, and how much longer are these going to be worth anything? And the years go by, and will you really care? Right? You're going to want something new. A lot of this stuff, people throw it out. This got thrown out. This was thrown out. My neighbor threw it out, and I got another bigger one in the basement. A lot of this stuff can be used whether you're doing YouTube channels or you just want to restore some of the old gear. Maybe you go shopping for a computer, on Facebook Marketplace or something, and you're picking up a whole bunch of stuff, and you're really more into the computer end of things. But if they offering you a monitor, don't throw it out. Take it. I say this a lot. When it breaks, even if you find it's at the curb or whatever, check it out. If it's broken, it's already broken. You can't make it worse. have some fun with it, learn something, and if you really can't fix it, put it back to your curve. Simple setup for YouTube and simple setup for enjoying, maybe even gaming. Don't be afraid to find a 1080p monitor. You're thinking that, I need 4K on everything. That's another discussion for another day. 4K is not all 4K, especially when it comes to cameras and cell phones. Hopefully, you guys got something out of this. I just enjoy doing this and putting some of this stuff up on YouTube. I'll see you on the next one.